Welcome to The Explainer. Look, let me be completely upfront with you right from the jump today. If you're sitting here right now with, little to no money, maybe zero investments, no savings, or you've got this heavy cloud of debt just hanging over your head, you're probably wondering, is it even possible for me to build real wealth? And the answer is yes, 100% yes. But let's get one thing straight. We are not going to talk about any get-rich-quick schemes today. Those are just selling you a fake dream. Building real wealth from absolute zero, it's entirely possible, but it happens through a proven, slow, and highly intentional step-by-step blueprint. And today, we're going to walk through that exact blueprint together.
Like I said, building wealth from zero, it isn't fast and it for sure isn't glamorous. It's not going to happen in 30 days. But here is the massive secret that makes all this slow, grinding work totally worth it: compound interest. People call it the eighth wonder of the world, and honestly, whether Einstein actually said that or not, the math is undeniably true. It's not just some boring finance concept, it is a literal superpower. Once you start this process, and more importantly, stay consistent with it, the momentum builds in a way that will genuinely blow your mind. It takes your money and your returns, and then the returns on those returns, and it creates this explosive growth over time.
But to get to that explosive growth, we have to follow a very specific path. So here is our exact roadmap for today. We're going to take a 5-phase climb together: facing your financial reality, entering grind season, destroying high-interest debt, building the wealth engine, and finally, protecting your future self.
All right, let's dive right in with phase 1, facing your financial reality.
Most people actively avoid looking at their financial situation because, it makes them incredibly uncomfortable. But here's the hard truth. You absolutely cannot fix what you refuse to face. This is the absolute rock-solid foundation of the whole blueprint. I need you to pull up every single account you have. Yep, all of them. Bank accounts, credit cards, student loans, car loans, write it all down. Total up exactly what you owe and total up exactly what you actually have. Now that number you're looking at, no matter how scary it is or how deep in the red it might be, listen to me. That is just your starting point. It is not your ending point. Own that number, stare it down, and just remember, literally every single wealthy person you admire had a starting point too.
Once you actually know your number, we immediately move to phase 2, entering grind season.
This is the heavy lifting phase. This is where the real work begins. Think of it as a temporary but completely necessary season of sacrifice. During this grind season, you've got to cut your expenses down to the bone. And you do that by asking yourself one brutal question before every single purchase. Is this absolutely necessary right now? Apply this to literally everything. Those 3 streaming subscriptions you barely use? Cut them. Eating out 4 times a week? Yeah, it's time to learn how to cook at home. Paying for some premium top-tier phone plan? Find a cheaper one. Every single dollar matters in this phase.
So why are we being so ruthless with these expenses? It's to create something called the gap. The gap is simply the difference between what you earn and what you spend. And creating this gap is absolutely vital. Why? Because that gap is the raw fuel for your wealth engine. Without it, you're running on empty and you're going nowhere fast. You literally cannot build wealth if every single dollar that comes in goes right back out the front door.
Now, the very first thing you're going to do with the fuel from that gap is hit this specific number, $1,000. This is your vital starter emergency fund. It is meant for one thing and one thing only: to handle small, unexpected expenses. A blown tire, a random medical bill, whatever random stuff life throws at you. Having $1,000 just sitting there protects you. Without it, every time a surprise bill pops off, you end up reaching for a high-interest credit card, and bam, you fall right back to zero. This cushion is what keeps you moving forward.
Okay, so with your foundation set and your starter fund locked in place, it's time for phase 3, destroying high-interest debt.
It is time to attack the absolute villain of your financial story with everything you've got. We're going to use something called the avalanche method. Basically, you list all your debts from the highest interest rate all the way down to the lowest. Then you take every single extra dollar from your gap and you throw it at that highest interest debt first, while just paying the bare minimums on all the rest. Once that top debt is gone, you roll that entire payment amount into the next one down the list. The mechanics of this are just incredible. It snowballs remarkably fast. And let me tell you, the feeling of actually watching a massive debt balance drop to absolute zero, it is one of the most motivating things you will ever experience.
And guys, there is a massive sense of urgency here. Any debt charging more than 10% interest, like your standard credit cards or payday loans, needs to be eliminated immediately. That interest is quite literally stealing from your future every single day it exists. You just cannot build wealth while simultaneously paying a bank 25% a year. You have to stop the daily theft from your future.
Now, once that high-interest debt is finally cleared out, we experience a massive shift in the blueprint. Welcome to Phase 4, Building the Wealth Engine.
We are officially shifting from playing defense to playing offense. The most absolutely crucial mindset shift right here is realizing that your current income is not your permanent income, unless you decide it is. To build wealth seriously, you have to increase your income. And look, we live in an era with more ways to make extra cash than at any point in human history. The options are everywhere. Freelancing, delivery apps, selling old stuff online, tutoring, running social media for local businesses, flipping items you find at thrift stores. Pick one that matches your skills and your schedule and just go all in. Because earning even an extra $300 to $500 a month completely changes the math of your entire wealth building journey.
Okay, so what do you actually do with that extra income? You invest it. Now, I know investing sounds super intimidating, like you need a suit and a Wall Street degree, but let's demystify it right now with index funds. These are basically just baskets of stocks that track the overall market. And historically, they go up over time. You do not need to be an expert, and you don't need a massive pile of money to start. Even putting in, say, $25 to $50 a month, without fail, unlocks that insane multiplying power of compound interest we talked about earlier. Remember this, the starting amount matters way, way less than your consistency.
All right, let's bring it home with Phase 5, protecting your future self.
Look, after all the sacrifice of your grind season and all the insane discipline of paying off debt and investing, you cannot, I repeat cannot, let one bad event send you right back to zero. You have to build a protective wall. We're talking health insurance, renters or homeowners insurance, life insurance if you got people depending on you, expanding that starter emergency fund from $1,000 all the way up to a full 3 to 6 months of living expenses, creating a will. I know, this stuff sounds incredibly boring, but it is non-negotiable. The wealthy protect their assets just as aggressively as they build them, and you need to adopt that exact same energy.
Now, before we wrap this up, I really need to validate something for you. Building wealth from absolute zero is hard. And those first few months, they are going to feel painfully slow. You might look at your accounts and feel like, man, I'm sacrificing my whole lifestyle for basically nothing. But listen to me, wealth building is backloaded. The results come later and then they come all at once. It's like a hockey stick curve. Do not let impatience talk you out of your future. The people who win at this game are simply the ones who didn't stop when it got hard.
It is time we totally drop the myths of wealth building. You know, the idea that you need to be born with some extreme talent, or have incredible luck, or possess this elite network of rich connections. The proven reality is actually much simpler and a lot more boring. Wealth is just a series of right decisions executed with relentless consistency over a long enough period of time. That's the secret sauce. So, here is my direct challenge to you. Start today. Not Monday, not next month. Today. Pick just one step from this explainer, whether that's logging into your accounts to face your scary number, canceling just one unnecessary subscription, or setting up a $25 automatic investment, and do it before your head hits the pillow tonight. Every dollar you save and every smart decision you make is literally a vote for the future version of yourself. So I'll leave you with this. What is the very first right decision you are going to make today to ensure your future self has the wealth and freedom they actually deserve?